Angel Reese is the most unskilled basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion.
The preseason is almost here, and the Chicago Sky are gearing up for action. But did you catch what the head coach just did with Angel Reese? Word is, she's being given a new role, one that takes her away from the basket. That's like asking a lion to roam outside the jungle. Reese built her reputation dominating the paint, but now she's being pushed out of her comfort zone. The numbers tell the story. Last season, she shot just 39.1% from within 5 feet, the lowest mark in the league. Now, the team wants her stepping out for mid-range jumpers, despite her slow release.
And I wonder how her fans are going to feel about that. If she's further away from the basket, that doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of, or as many, I would believe, offensive rebound opportunities for one Angel Reese.
Could this bold shift be the turning point that reignites Angel Reese's career, or the start of a steep decline? This transformation goes against everything that built her reputation. The big question now: can she evolve and thrive in unfamiliar territory, or will stepping outside her comfort zone expose her flaws and lead to failure?
She has no skill. She has energy, she has an attitude, she'll rebound you the basketball. Great. Nothing else.
Let's talk cold, hard facts about Angel Reese's game around the rim. Last season, she shot just 39.1% from within 5 feet, an area known for the easiest, highest percentage shots in basketball. These are punt-blank looks, and she couldn't even convert 40% of them. That's a serious red flag.
Attempts, and we know from 5 foot in, she was the most inefficient field goal percentage shooter.
When numbers speak louder than reputation, change becomes unavoidable. Angel Reese posted the worst shooting percentage in the entire WNBA last season among players with significant minutes, just 39.1% from within 5 feet. That's in stark contrast to elite post players like AJA Wilson, who converted 64% of her paint attempts, using refined footwork and drop-step moves to create space and finish strong. Reese's struggles are impossible to ignore. Her efficiency is so far below league norms that the coaching staff is being forced to re-evaluate her entire role. The frustration is clear when watching her play. Her body language under the basket tells the story: hesitation, uncertainty, and a reluctance to attack even when she has a clear look. Instead, she often dishes the ball off, a sign she's well aware of her shortcomings in an area that should be her strength.
And now she knows it to the point that even when she's on the basketball court, she's aware, like, this ain't really my thing. Let me get this hot potato out of my hand and to somebody that knows what they're doing.
The eye test backs up what the stats are already shouting. Angel Reese's post-game still lacks refinement. Her footwork is shaky, she has no reliable go-to move, and her touch around the rim is inconsistent at best. Take a key fourth-quarter possession against the Connecticut Sun. Reese caught the ball deep in the paint with just one defender to beat. It was a prime scoring opportunity. But instead of finishing strong, she launched an awkward hook shot that missed badly, drawing groans from the crowd. Moments like that paint a clear picture.
Runs down court with the basketball, 3-4 steps ahead of everybody, has an easy layup, and throws it to the girl behind her.
With Kennedy Carter no longer on the Chicago Sky, Angel Reese's weaknesses are about to be put under a microscope. Carter was a dynamic scorer who drew defensive pressure, giving Reese more room to operate. Without that cushion, defenses can now zero in on Reese, and it's already forcing head coach Tyler Marsh to rethink her role entirely. That kind of dramatic adjustment for a high-profile rookie doesn't happen unless the issues are both serious and ongoing. Just watch her on the offensive glass. Reese often grabs multiple rebounds in a single possession but struggles to finish. She'll put up the same shot 3 or 4 times before finally scoring, if at all. Those repeated misses waste precious possessions and stall the offense. In a telling sequence against New York, she hauled in 3 straight offensive boards but came up empty on each attempt. Her teammates' frustration was obvious. It's the kind of moment that captures a much larger concern.
Carter is no longer on the team, and new head coach Tyler Marsh is busy installing a different vision for Chicago.
These issues go beyond just tactics or play calling. They stem from fundamental basketball skills that most players develop long before they reach the pros. The average WNBA post player has spent years honing footwork, mastering counter moves, and learning to finish through contact in the paint. But rather than focusing on shoring up these core skills, the Chicago Sky are taking a surprising and controversial approach with Angel Reese. In a move that's left basketball analysts scratching their heads, head coach Tyler Marsh is pushing Reese away from the basket and reworking her role entirely. Instead of emphasizing post-development, the team is shifting her focus to mid-range shooting. It's a risky gamble, like asking someone who's still struggling with basic arithmetic to start solving calculus problems.
Offense. The Sky plan to use second-year power forward Angel Reese much differently than how she was deployed in her rookie season.
The core issue lies in Angel Reese's shooting mechanics, which present a major hurdle in her transition to a perimeter-oriented game. Scouts have consistently described her release as extremely slow, painfully, problematically slow for the WNBA, where defenders close out with elite speed. In a league where every fraction of a second matters, Reese's sluggish release is like giving defenders a head start in a race. It's tough to get a clean shot off when your opponent has an extra second to challenge it. That's the steep uphill battle Reese now faces as she tries to reinvent her game away from the basket.
She's working on being able to shoot off dribble, and when the play call is for a catch and shoot. Yeah, but what does that mean? Because she's... look, we've all seen videos of her practicing. She's got a very, very slow as serve release out there.
Changing shooting mechanics is like turning a sprinter into a marathon runner. It requires an entirely different set of muscle patterns and physical adaptations. It's not just about tweaking form, it's about rewiring muscle memory that's been ingrained since childhood. Most professional shooters spend years fine-tuning their technique. Yet Angel Reese is being asked to overhaul hers in just a few months, all while her previous numbers show she hasn't even mastered finishing at the rim. It's a massive leap, and the timeline is anything but forgiving.
Poe wrote that Reese was increasing the use of off-ball cuts and relocating her position to constantly create balance and space in Marsh's offense. Chicago isn't planning on asking Reese to increase her three-point production this season. It says the Chicago Sky want her to take mid-range jumpers. Okay. However, Marsh wants her to add more versatility to her shot selection by hitting mid-range jumpers, 10 to 15 feet.
In recent interviews, Angel Reese has expressed full confidence in her ability to make this transition, insisting she can adjust quickly and do whatever the team needs. But anyone who's watched her closely knows there's a clear disconnect between that confidence and the technical reality. Her shooting mechanics tell a much different story about her readiness for this shift. The upcoming preseason matchup against the Barcelona national team will serve as the first true test of this bold experiment. Imagine the moment. Reese catches the ball at the elbow, squares up to her defender, and rises for her first mid-range jumper as a pro. The question isn't just whether the shot will fall, it's whether it will even clear the defender's outstretched arm. Every attempt she takes from that range will be under the microscope, each one either strengthening or undermining Coach Tyler Marsh's controversial new strategy.
Chicago Sun-Times, Reese has yet to post up at training camp as she learns the new role for the offense. Oh, this should be very interesting. Quote, for Reese, that means adapting to a modified role that will tap into her full potential as a stretch four.
This is a total reinvention of who Angel Reese is as a basketball player. Most pros spend years mastering new skills before relying on them as primary weapons. But Reese is being asked to make this drastic transformation almost overnight, with the entire basketball world watching every step of the way.
Poe wrote about her new role on offense. This doesn't mean Reese will never post up again, but Marsh understands if the Sky want to build an effective offense, they need to start building out space in the half court. I don't hate that.
In the half court, I don't hate the idea. But there's a potentially devastating downside. It could erase what made Angel Reese famous in the first place. Her trademark double-doubles came from her relentless hustle on offensive rebounds and putbacks. By moving her away from the basket, she'll see fewer chances to crash the boards, threatening the very stats that had defined her game.
So I think it's going to be pretty easy. How easily Reese masters the offense will determine how successful the Sky are in 2025. The offense was a sore spot for the rookie, and how former head coach Teresa Weatherspoon let Carter delegate it didn't.
What if this experiment fails? If mid-range shooting remains a struggle due to her mechanics, and her post-play continues to be inefficient, what's left for Angel Reese? The Chicago Sky are risking everything on a transformation that basketball history shows is unlikely to happen successfully in such a short time frame.
If her offense ratchets up to the next level, the Sky could be scary. So, the question is, how is this going to work out?
But how will this whole plan play out? You know what? There might actually be a silver lining to this drastic change. Moving Angel Reese away from the basket could turn out to be the unexpected solution no one saw coming. Think about it. We've just seen how much she struggles inside. So why keep forcing her to play in the area where she faces the biggest challenges?
I'm not going to lie to you. I actually feel a little bit better about her standing back further away from the basket, shooting jumpers. I do, actually.
Right now, Angel Reese shows a puzzling contradiction. On one hand, she's aware of her limitations. That's why she sometimes passes up open looks right under the basket. But on the other hand, she keeps going back to those same shots after offensive rebounds, missing multiple times before finally converting. In fact, she'll often attempt the exact same shot up to 4 times before it goes in. That's wasted possessions and a major momentum killer for the team. Now, consider the ripple effect this position change could have. Moving Reese away from the basket opens up the paint for players like Camila Cardoso, who might convert those inside chances at a much higher rate. The entire offense could run smoother without Reese clogging the lane with repeated missed attempts.
Now that I've seen how bad her inside game is, it's still going to be interesting because her claim to fame is what? Double-doubles. All right? That made her this hot commodity with the...
But here's where it gets really interesting. What happens to those famous double-doubles that made Angel Reese a star if she's no longer stationed under the basket? That's the million-dollar question. Her rebounding numbers might actually improve if she's better positioned to attack the boards from the perimeter. And remember, there's a big difference between offensive and defensive rebounds. She can still dominate the defensive glass even while playing a different role on offense.
If she's not as close to the basket on offense, which she shouldn't, it should clear out the paint and underneath the basket for Camila to be able to rebound. And we know she can hit layups. We've seen them. We've seen them over and over. I've seen plenty of videos of her hitting plenty of layups. That could be better for the offense. He may also be fully aware that a massive hole in Angel Reese's game is the fact that she will catch a rebound and then proceed to put up 4 shots to make 1.
Can you imagine if Angel Reese fully embraced this new identity? Instead of being known primarily as a scoring threat, she could transform into a rebounding powerhouse and lockdown defender. Her relentless energy and motor make her perfect for that kind of role. The Sky could build their team identity around her defensive presence and hustle, rather than pushing her to be a scoring option she's not yet ready to handle. Right now, we're witnessing a crucial turning point in Angel Reese's basketball journey. The Sky's coaching staff is completely rethinking what kind of player she can become in the league. Her future may hinge on how she responds to this challenge. Will she embrace a modified role that includes more mid-range shots? Or could she follow in Dennis Rodman's footsteps and become a defensive specialist who controls the boards? The real test begins soon, on the Barcelona court. Success in the WNBA comes down to one thing: adaptation. So, which path do you think will define Reese's career, reinventing her shot or mastering the boards? Let us know below.